Mic check. All right, there we go. I'm seeing the bouncing lights now. Hello, my name is Robbie. On here, I'm Templar Knight. Every person who believes in God but does not attend a church has a story why. But it's said that whenever two or more gather in God's name, that He is there. So this is church. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. This week was kind of fun for me. Tonight's lesson came yesterday morning. I'd been working all week on what I was going to talk about this week because that's my process, how I prepare. And yesterday morning, I always wake up early, and I was just sitting here working, reading through the Bible, just really spending some quality time with God. And I kept hearing, come 8, 9 o'clock or so, I heard some kids yell. Like a little scream. I couldn't tell what it was because I don't spend much time around kids, but I heard some yelling, and it got my attention, so I went and looked out the window. And I saw that there were these 3 little boys on the sidewalk across the street from me. 2 of them were my neighbor's kids. I don't know who the third one was, but he had brought over a skateboard. And they were all trying to skateboard, sometimes at the same time. It was adorable. I think they're maybe between the ages of 5 and 10. Just little kids trying to skateboard and wanting to each take their turn. Like, ooh, let me try. Let me show you what I can do. It's my turn. And he'd hop on the board and he'd go about 2 feet and then woof, and down he goes. And the other 2 go chasing the board and pick it up. And they were just having so much fun. I just kind of stood there with the blinds open for a good 10, 15 minutes just watching these kids just enjoy this skateboard. And it was really just a feel-good moment of watching them have so much fun just trying to take turns. It was that time when I wish I had a skateboard because I would have gladly gone out and gave it to them and let them play because they were just having so much fun trying to skateboard. Bless their hearts, they couldn't. And I'm glad my microphone's not that loud because I can hear them yelling right now across the street. But thankfully the mic won't pick them up. But they were out playing with their skateboard yesterday morning, and they were struggling with taking turns, as kids do. Just let me try. It's my turn. Let me see. I want to do it. I want to try. And it was just always each of them wanting their opportunity with the skateboard to see what they can do with it, see how far they can go. Can they make the whole ride down the sidewalk? How far can they get? What can they do with it? And after just sitting back and relaxing and watching these kids in their joy for a while, I took my notes and just put them aside because that lesson can wait. I'm always watching for those neon billboards of God telling me where to go, and this is where He told me to go. So I started planning a new lesson. And normally I'm well ahead by this time. It's never a last minute thing, but I was starting over. And I started remembering just going through my past, and a time came up to me when I used to work at church camp. I was maintenance there for a while, just tending to the campfires, mowing the lawns, painting, cleaning, whatever. I was a counselor there. I was even a dean for a while where I was in charge of all the kids who showed up. It was awesome. But I remember one night I was there, and my job was to make sure the campfire was going and keep the fire going while all the campers were there, and then put it out when they were gone. And some nights it'd be really quiet, so I decided to grab a guitar. And I bought this poster, and I learned how to play a handful of chords. And I realized that with this poster, and with the hymnals that we had at the church camp, I could look and say, that's a G. Look at the poster. That's how you play a G. Bring. And all of a sudden, I was learning how to play guitar. Just strumming out chords. And at night at the campfires, I would just kind of kick back and watch all the campers and just strum a few chords here and there. Try and pick up some songs. Just provide a little bit of something in the background over all the talking. And one night this high school kid walks up to me. And he sees me sitting there playing with the guitar, and he's like, Can I try? I was like, oh, you want to play guitar? He's like, yeah, let me show you something. So he sits down right beside me. I hand him the guitar, and he starts playing. Boy, could this dude play. He was phenomenal. He was just, the stuff I was playing was, literally just chord strumming. He was playing songs and singing, and it got to the point where people weren't sitting around the campfire talking. People were sitting around the campfire listening to this guy put on a show. It was awesome. And I wish I could have done that, because, that'd be a real cool skill for the camp maintenance guy to have, to be able to play guitar. But I didn't music good, so I did what I could with the guitar. The fire was over, he gave me back my guitar. I thanked him for what he did. It was awesome. Put the guitar away, tended to the fire, and next night, same story. I'm just sitting there strumming away, and he comes up and he says, may I? Sure thing. Let the guy take my guitar and play. And it was awesome. Every single night of that camp, he borrowed my guitar and he worshiped God with such amazing music. It was awesome to see. And that really got me thinking, because that guy could do cool stuff with my guitar. I could play songs, I could strum a little bit, I could kumbaya pretty good. But he could really do something with it. It got to the point, the last night, he comes walking up, and I just handed it over, didn't even say nothing to him, just, here you go, man. Take my guitar and show me what you can do. That story hit me hard today. I'd never really thought much about that, because it was just one of the amazing things that happened to me at camp. But this morning when I was writing, that story kept coming back. So again, billboards. Really got me thinking about, in my life, the things I'm willing to give over to other people to see what they can do with it. There's a story in the Bible. It's John chapter 6. Those of you who don't know, the book of John, it's one of the apostles, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. And, sorry, brain fart. Those books, whenever we talk about those books, they all talk about the life of Jesus. So when I say we're going to John chapter 6, that means we're going to talk about something Jesus do. Because that guy did some amazing things. Where we're at in the story, he was on his way, he was traveling. If you want to hear the actual words, look it up. It's a great story. Take you 15 minutes to read, probably less. But he was traveling. He was doing his thing. He was being Jesus. He was performing miracles, doing amazing things. And he shows up at this place. Now, he has got a following now. There are people that they hear, this dude is doing miracles. Let's go see what this is about. So he's got people following him now, because what if this time I'm the miracle? What if he heals me? I've heard he can do it. What if he chooses me? He's got a crowd following him. And it makes perfect sense. If Mr. Beast were to show up in my town and just be wandering around and I heard about it, I'd probably go and show up and just follow the dude around and say, hey, you're pretty well known for giving away lots of money. I could probably do some pretty cool stuff with that money. Think maybe I'm worthy? Please? I'd probably go if I heard Mr. Beast was in town. Because Mr. Beast is known for giving away money. Well, Jesus was known for performing miracles. So you better believe people showed up. Because anyone who was sick, blind, any type of disability, handicap, or even just struggling, Jesus was doing miracles. And people were showing up. Now it says there was a huge crowd. Now, it doesn't give an actual number, but it says that to feed this entire crowd, it would take half a year's wages just for everyone to get one bite. Now, I know catering, I do some decent stuff around food, but I've never, I'm thinking, how much food could I buy with half of my year's wage? And for that only to be enough food for the entire crowd to have one bite? Dude, that was a huge following this dude had. And everyone started freaking out because they're like, Jesus, what do? We got this huge crowd here. You want to kind of do your praise thing. You want to do some miracles, perform and touch people and save lives. How do we feed these people? And one of the disciples shows up and they've found this little boy. He had what is probably his week's groceries with him. He had 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. And this little person walks up and he says, little kid, I don't know, maybe teenager, maybe younger, walks up and says, hey, this is what I've got. I'll give it to you. Show me what you can do with it. And he gives his weekly groceries to Jesus. Now, Jesus did what Jesus does, and he performed a miracle. He started divvying up this food. Now, mind you, he started with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. And he starts spreading it out and splitting it up into groups. Says, all right, take this over there. Take some of the food, puts it in a basket. Take this over there. Take this over there. And the food just keeps coming. And the food just keeps coming. They fed everyone there. Now, not only did everyone get a bite, mind you, half a year's salary for a bite. Not only did everyone get a bite, everyone ate. They were fed. There were leftovers. When this whole thing was done and everybody was done eating, they went and gathered up the food. There were 12 baskets of food left over. This dude started with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, and now he's got 12 baskets of leftovers. That's what Jesus can do. This kid gave over his weekly groceries, and Jesus took that and he fed thousands with leftovers to boot. So I think about how that applies to my life. There was a time when I was struggling. Before I found God, it was a rough week. It was a rough month. It was a rough year. I wasn't doing well. And I was so troubled because I went to church. I sang in the choirs. I did the Sunday school things. I was an active member in my church. But inside I was empty. I was hollow and I was broken, and I felt like I was just going through the motions, doing all the stuff I was supposed to do. I was so empty inside. Not tonight. I had my life, and I was doing what I thought the best I could with it. But it wasn't good enough. And finally I got frustrated. And I says, okay, God, you take this. You show me what you can do with it. And he did. And he did amazing things. He put me on a path that changed my life. Through him, I found a reason to live. I found a purpose. Jesus has used me to change other people's lives. I said, God, take this life, show me what you can do with it. And he did. Now that was a major step. And lately, I used to listen to audiobooks driving to work every day. And I said, God, I've got this time in the mornings. Take this time. Show me what you can do with it. Now my drive to and from work every day, I'm spending time with the Lord. And it has been amazing. I took a marriage and I said, God, show me what you can do. Now, when I say I have an awesome wife, most husbands will say that. I mean, I've got an awesome wife. My marriage is a testament of God's power, the likes of which I could never begin to comprehend. He has truly blessed me. There are so many things that I have learned that I can do well. But God can do it better. So when I'm struggling and I'm hurting with problems, I can just tell him, it's like, God, I don't know what to do. Can you show me? And I can hand it over to him. And he'll be like, yeah, I got you. Check this out. And he will show me what he can do. And man, the power of God is amazing what he will do with things. Sometimes it's a little scary. Sometimes it can be intimidating to hand things over, because I'm a bit of a control freak. Anyone who knows me thinks that might be an understatement. I like to have things thoroughly planned out and know every step of the way. I want to know what's happening. I want to know what's going on. I want to know what's next. My coworkers will tell you that, yeah, I'm a definite control freak when it comes to wanting things to be done right. So it is very difficult for me to hand over the reins and say, Jesus, take this part of my life. Show me what you can do. It can be hard and scary, but boy, is it worth it. Even this stream, I never thought I'd be sitting here. I had ideas of doing a ministry, and I says, all right, Lord, if I'm going to do this, show me what you can do. And the things he has done, I wish I could share a lot of it, but the majority happens off camera. In messages from people, in texts, in phone calls. God is taking this opportunity and doing amazing things. People's lives, people's hearts, he's getting involved. So many are just once we let go of control, once we hand things over to the Lord, it's pretty cool what he can do with it. I mean, I'm good at some stuff, but what God can do is beyond anything I could ever imagine. So maybe start small. Take some small part of your life that you're struggling with and ask God to be a part of it. Ask him to show you what he can do. And more importantly, let him guide you, because he'll make it abundantly clear what he wants. He will come at you the day before your Bible study and say, hey, I know you spent all week working on this. I want you to talk about this instead. But he does amazing things. And I hope one day you can all have that. I hope every one of you can just invite him into your lives. What was that song by Carrie Underwood back in the day? I'm probably dating myself, but she had this song called Jesus Take the Wheel. I was never really fond of the song, but there's a lot of power in those. Handing over control. I hope it's something you guys know. I really do. And if not, it's something you can have. Because as I say every week, Jesus loves you no matter what. No matter what. All you got to do is ask. I'm going to close this in prayer real quick, so. Man, what is up, God? I am so thankful for what you're doing here. I'm so thankful that you are using me to preach to these people. And Lord, I want to ask you just to be a part of their lives. You know what they're struggling with. You know what I'm struggling with. Lord, take control. Allow us to give you control of what we're struggling with. Because I know, once it's in your hands, we're safe. Everything's fine. Lord, I know there's probably one or two people out there that got some things that they're just really struggling with, Lord, and I want you to be there with them. Just stand there and say, hey, I'm ready to help you with this as soon as you're ready to let go. Lord, take their troubles, take their sorrows, take their pain. Perform miracles, Lord. Because, Lord, there are some people who really need those miracles. There are people who need you in their lives. Amen.